So here's two big takeaways that I got from what you're saying here is one, you have to understand the business of the business. If you don't, how can you understand the needs of that business? How can you understand the talent's going to fit properly into that business? How can you understand the cycles of the business? These are all the things that you were saying and more. The second one was here's the picture that I got. You were thinking like a marketer. I have to understand the needs of my customer. Your customer in HR is all the different lawyers, all the different practice areas. They are your customer that you're serving first. So if you're not talking with them and you're not understanding their needs and their cycles and everything, you're not fitting into the bigger picture of the business and the individual needs of the different departments, practice areas inside of the business. Is that a good takeaway from what you were saying?
It is. And there's one more layer on top of that because you've got individual clients that have their specific needs for their business unit, in my case, a practice group. But you've also got to the broader picture. It might be great for this particular practice group or this particular department. However, it doesn't necessarily support the goals that have been set by the firm as a whole. And HR is a tightrope that goes in three directions. So the tightrope's not the best analogy, but I can't come up with a better one. You are balancing the needs of your managers, your internal clients, you're advocating and protecting for the firm. You're also protecting and advocating for the employee. And you are constantly finding that perfect balance between all of those. It's not easy being the warm, inviting, trustworthy, confidant, and advocate for the employee, but also protecting the company or the firm against liability. It's hard sometimes. Or you've got the person that really wants to hire somebody to add to their team, and you're going, we have internal resources that could do that. I can't support bringing on a new person just because you happen to want them there. That is challenging, but on the flip side, if you open up to it, I have found the human resources and law firm administrator community to be incredibly supportive. Literally had a call this morning from a colleague that said, "Hey, help me think this through. What are my alternatives? How would you do this?" And I do that all the time. I have a tribe, the people I've worked with for years, and we are each other's sounding board and encourager. Human resources, especially at the higher levels, is one of the most loneliest jobs on the planet. You really have to be careful to keep the relationships extremely professional because you may have to make some difficult decisions about that person. I've had to lay off one of my best friends. She was in-house counsel, and we both knew it was coming, and she was saying, "I wrote the severance agreement, thank you very much." But it's still difficult even though both of us walked into that room knowing that it was outside of our control. There had been a takeover by a private equity, and they were doing a lot of downsizing. It's still hard to have relationships because you may be having to make some difficult recommendations about that person later on down the line. There are so many things you can't share with anyone else in your organization. You can't bounce ideas off of because you're it. And the rest of the department heads and the directors and the chiefs are looking to you for that level of confidence and expertise. So there's not a lot of people to say, what am I missing here? Or am I overreacting or underreacting in this situation? So I think it's critical to have that team of people that you can call and say, so hypothetically, how would you handle this? Have you ever experienced this? And I'm fortunate that through both SHRM and my contacts in human resources and Association of Legal Administrators, I've got such a huge network across the United States that we stay in touch. I literally, the second holiday card I got this year was from an HR manager from my days at Genuine Parts Company that must be 23 years ago. And I get a Christmas card from her every year.